Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is Keith with the Solo Gamers Club and I'm welcoming you to a third installment of our playthrough of Touch of Evil 10-year anniversary edition against the Shadow Witch, the ghost of Elaine Bartlett. Before we get into our playthrough, I have a couple of oversights from the previous video and one correction. First oversight is when the shadow track crossed into a new stage. At that point, we had an event happening on the coast board, and that event now is going to expire, so we'll take care of that. We pulled a village encounter card and we had to shut down the use of one of the spaces in the village of Tidewater. I selected the docks and we were instructed to place a wound token there. Well, when it moves into a new stage, that expires, so now the docks are open for play again. Another oversight is when we drew a mystery card. At the bottom of the card it reads each hero gains 1 investigation, and I neglected to do that, so I'm going to give each of our investigators an investigation token. And the last correction was an error, and what happened is, you might recall that I think in the previous video Isabella von Took was accosted by a Shadow Witch attack. And I neglected to give the Shadow Witch an extra +1 to its fight die, because it has an ability where for every active mystery card that remains in play, she gains a +1 fight dice. So what I'm going to do as a correction, I'm going to assume that that extra dice that she would have had would have been a hit. So Isabella would have used her manipulation ability and she would have spent an additional 1 investigation token to get rid of that wound. So I think that's a good solution to my oversight. Okay, we're ready for play now. Okay, we'll begin with our first player, and that's Isabella von Took. She's currently at the abandoned keep. She's trying to get to the icy waters, and we're going to probably end up having her try to take the secret passage from the abandoned keep to Smuggler's Cove. We'll have a roll for movement for her though. And here's Isabella's movement roll. Okay, she rolled a 5, so she would have 5 movement points. I think we're going to end up spending an investigation token, and we're going to have her take the secret passage from the abandoned keep to Smuggler's Cove. And so Isabella arrives at Smuggler's Cove. There are no enemies present, so she is going to begin her actions, and she'll start with encountering the space, and we're going to draw a Smuggler's Cove card. And we learn by referencing our coast map reference board that Smuggler's Cove focuses on spirit, health, and its dangerous maze of passages. So we'll see what we get here. And Isabella draws Maze of Caves, Investigation. Lost in the twisting tunnels, you move further into the darkness. Make an Honor 5+ test. If successful, gain 2 investigation for every 5+ rolled, and immediately move to and encounter a random location. If failed, you may not move next turn, but must linger here. All right, well, Isabella currently has an honor of only 2, so this is going to be a difficult test for her. All right, Isabella is going to make her Honor 5+ test, and we'll see if we can pass this. And she did not pass it. All right, well, that means then that she has failed and she's not going to be able to move next turn, but must linger here. So I'm going to leave that card at Smuggler's Cove as a reminder. And that's going to end Isabella's turn. We'll move on to Frederick Leone. He is currently at the beach. Frederick's clue card is located at the beach, and I had made an error last time in that at that point Frederick did not have enough investigation to pay for that clue token. So I think what we'll do is we'll roll the dice and see how much movement points he has, and then we'll determine what he's going to do. Okay, here is his move roll. And he rolls a 4, so he's got 4 movement points. And I think the best thing we can probably do is we'll move to the lighthouse. He can have an encounter at the lighthouse and he'll pick up all 3 of those investigation tokens. So we'll have him move 1, 2, 3 into the lighthouse, gaining 3 investigation. That moves him up to a total of 5 investigation. He arrives at the lighthouse and he's going to encounter the space, and we'll see what we get. And once again, consulting the coast map reference, we find out that the lighthouse focuses on cunning, spirit, and the Kraken. He draws the card Candle of Tomorrow, Investigation, Madness. The beacon atop the lighthouse crackles and goes dark. Whipping winds and wicked whispers grow louder in your ears as you race to strike a lamp. You can only hope that the flickering flame can keep the darkness at bay until morning's dawn. Make a Spirit 5+ test and gain 1 investigation for every 3+ rolled. If the test is failed, take 1 hit for every investigation you gained from this roll. All right. Well, unfortunately, Frederick only has a spirit value of 2. So he's only going to be able to roll 2 dice for the test. And here is his test roll. We're looking for a Spirit 5+. And he has 1 success. So that's going to earn him 1 investigation token, giving him a total of 6 now, I believe. Yes. And it also says that if the make a Spirit test 5+ test and gain 1 investigation for every 3+ rolled. So we did that. If the test is failed, so I guess what would have happened is if we would have rolled a 3 or greater, we would have gained the investigation, but in order to pass the test, we needed the 5 or greater. So that's what we did, and we passed it, so we don't take any hits for that. That's good. And I think Frederick is going to use his escort ability. I should have actually done this prior to taking the lighthouse encounter. But we're going to do it now. And it says, while in a town space, you may pay 2 investigation as an action to take a militia marker. This militia travels with him and may only be used by him, limit 1. There may also be up to 1 militia in the space as normal. So he's going to pay 2 investigation, and he's going to gain his own personal militia guard that will follow Frederick around the map, and that's good. So Frederick is going to gain a militia token, which is great. That gives him an extra health box and +1 to combat. And that's going to end his turn, and we'll move on to Heinrich Cartwright, the drifter. He's currently at the town hall, and he's trying to get to the abandoned keep. Now, Frederick would like to get to the abandoned keep, but unfortunately that's going to cost him 3 investigation tokens to gain a clue token there. So he only has 2. So I think what we'll do is we'll try to move him to the windmill. It's close by, and he should be able to pick up the 2 investigation there. And here's his movement roll. And he rolls a 3. All right. Well, that's not enough to get to the windmill, unfortunately, but I guess we'll move him as close as we can. So he'll move 1, 2, 3, and that's going to end his turn. We'll move on now to Abigail Stern, student of the occult, and she's at the Forgotten Island. All right, Abigail is at the Forgotten Island, and she's attempting to get to the North Dock. So as long as we can get 2 movement points, we'll have sufficient amount of movement to leave the Forgotten Island and make it to the North Dock. Okay, here's her movement roll. And of course she rolls a 1, which means that we can't leave the island and we're going to have to linger there. So she does get to draw an event card for rolling the 1. So we will draw the event card and see what she gets. She draws the event card Endurance. Play immediately. Play this card on any hero to give them an extra health box. All right, and that remains in play. Well, I'll tell you, our weakest character that we have in regards to health is Isabella von Tuch. So I think we're going to give her that card. That would boost her from 2 health up to 3, and that would be very valuable. So we'll do that. So we'll place this card under her player area, and that's going to give her an extra health box, which is great. Now getting back to Abigail Stern, she only had a movement roll of 1, so she doesn't have enough movement to pay the cost to leave the island. So she's going to have to linger, and we're going to have to make a lingering roll there. That means we're going to roll a d6, and on a result of 1, we're going to make a roll on the Shadow Witch's minion chart. So Abigail will have to make her lingering roll, and that's one of the dangers of traveling to the Forgotten Island. If you end up rolling a 1 while you're there, and you don't have any other form of transportation to give you some movement bonuses, it's a mandatory lingering roll, and that's what we're going to have here. So hopefully we won't roll a 1. And we rolled a 3, so that's good. So I think Abby is going to encounter the space, and we'll see what she finds. And Abby uncovers the Explorer's Journal. Item, book, journal. And that's a great find for her because she has the student ability. She gains +1 cunning for every book she has. And this book is going to give her +2 to spirit and +2 to cunning. It's awesome. And it reads, 23rd of March, 1723. There's nothing can be done now to stop it. In time, I too will become like Gerard, a monster. All right, well, we're going to give that very precious Explorer's Journal to Abigail, and that is great. And that's not only going to boost her spirit to 4 and cunning to 5, but because that is a book, she's going to gain an additional +1 cunning, and that's going to move her up to cunning 6, and that's great. All right, that is going to end her turn, and now we're going to move on to the mystery phase. And at the start of the mystery phase, we have to determine where Solomon is going to move to. He's currently at the monastery. So we'll draw a layer card and find out where he's moving to. And Solomon is going to move to the manor. And fortunately for us, he is not going to move through any of the spaces where there is a hero. So we'll have no ill effects from Solomon, and we'll move him to the manor. Our current first player is Isabella von Took, and she is going to resolve the remainder of the mystery phase. And we'll go to the next actionable step, and that will be to roll on the mystery phase chart. And here's the roll. She rolls a 7, and that's once again Surge of Evil. Roll once on the villain's minion chart and work out the result. If it is a minion or the villain attacks, draw a random location for placement. Okay, we'll give a d6 roll, and we'll consult the minion chart. The roll is a 1, and that's Wrath of the Shadow Witch. That's an event. And it reads, discard the top 2 cards from each location deck. For each ally card discarded this way, remove it from the game and place a Shadow Spectre minion on the board in a random location. Oh, well, that could be quite severe. The Shadow Spectres are a special minion that the Shadow Witch has, and those have 2 abilities. Ethereal, heroes must use spirit instead of combat during the fight, and they're spiteful. While on the board, draw an extra mystery card in the mystery card phase. Oh, that would be terrible. And, well, I'm going to do that. I will discard 2 cards from every corner deck that we have, and we'll see how many allies are drawn as a part of that. And we were very fortunate. None of the 2 cards from all of the decks had any allies in them. So we're going to have no ill effects from this, at least, which is good. And now it's the mystery card phase, and we're going to draw a mystery card and see what happens to us. And the card reads, Howling in the Night, Mystery. Shuffle the discard pile back into the mystery deck, including this card. Move the shadow track 1 step closer to darkness, and each hero is going to gain an investigation. The flavor text reads, Good Lord, that sounds close. All right, so we are going to shuffle in all of the discards into the mystery card deck. Shadow track will increase by 1 up to 15, down to 15, and all the heroes will gain an investigation. And we have 1 step left, and we're going to move our first player marker to Frederick Leon, and we'll begin a new round. All right, Frederick and his militia bodyguard escorts are currently at the lighthouse. He has 4 investigation, and he's attempting to get to the beach where he can attempt to get a clue token. And here's Frederick's roll for move. and he rolls a 1. All right, well, that's going to entitle him to draw an event card. And the event card is Gossip and Rumors. Event. Play at any time except during a fight to peek at the secrets of one town elder without revealing them. You may choose one of those secrets to discard and draw a new one without looking at it and replace it. And the flavor text reads, "My cousin's brother-in-law heard from his friend." All right, well, we'll keep that card. That is actually a little bit better than Frederick Leon's diplomacy ability, and that it allows us to replace one of those secrets and without revealing them, which is a good thing. So we'll put that into our events community pool of cards, and then Frederick will move 1 space. So Frederick and his escort will move 1 space down the road path towards the beach, and hopefully we can reach the beach by the next turn. That's going to bring Frederick's turn to a close, and we'll move on to Heinrich Cartwright. Heinrich currently has 2 investigation. He needs to have 3 in order to actuate his clue card at the abandoned keep. So we're going to try to have him move to the windmill and pick up that investigation there, and then make his way eventually to the abandoned keep. And here's Frederick's move. He rolls a 2, and that's enough movement points to get to the windmill, and that's what he's going to do. So he'll travel to the windmill, and he's entitled to be able to pick up both of those investigation tokens. That'll give him a total of 4. And now that he's at the windmill, he's going to encounter the space. And he draws the card Vial of Poison, Investigation. Finding a small vial of deadly green liquid, you can't help but think of who might deserve such a fate. Make an Honor 5+ test. If passed, gain 3 investigation. If failed, choose an ally, town elder or evil elder in play, to poison, remove an ally from the game, or kill a town or evil elder. Well, that would be actually quite useful. We'd be able to get rid of the collector if we fail this. All right, Heinrich currently has an honor value of 4, so he'll be rolling 4 dice for the test. And here's his Honor 5+ test. And he has a total of 2 successes. He's got a 5 and a 6, and that's going to earn him 3 investigation. That is great. So we'll give Heinrich 3 investigation. That's going to bump him up to a total of 7. Might have been nice to actually fail that test and use the vial of poison on the collector. And that's going to bring Heinrich's turn to a close. We'll move on to Abigail Stern. She's at the Forgotten Island. Abigail has a total of 5 investigation, and she's attempting to get to the North Dock and acquire a clue. And we'll have Abigail roll for movement. Hopefully we can do better than 1 this time. And we rolled a 5, so she has 5 movement points, and that's more than enough to make the lake crossing to the North Dock. All right, upon arriving there, she is going to gain the 2 investigation that are there, and that's going to bump her up to a total of 7 investigation. Now we're going to have to encounter the space, and then after that, if we're still at the North Dock, we can attempt to get the clue token. Okay, here is the roll for encountering the North Dock. On a 3 or greater, we're going to draw an event. Otherwise, it's going to be a mystery card. And of course, she rolled a 1. And that's going to be a mystery card draw. Ugh. And the mystery card's revealed to be Blocked Road, Mystery Obstacle. Draw a random location and place a blocked road marker in any one empty adjacent road space of your choice, if any are available. Move the shadow track 1 step closer to darkness. And the flavor text reads, "The road is out. We'll have to find another way." All right, we'll draw a layer card. And we draw the card Covered Bridge, so we're going to have to place a road block marker on a road space adjacent to the covered bridge. And I'll place the road blocked marker here. All right, and that is going to bring Abigail's turn to a close. No, it's not. She is going to purchase her clue card. So per the mystery card, we've moved the shadow track down. It's at 14 right now. And Abigail is going to utilize her clue card, which is the North Dock. She will pay 1 investigation, and that's going to earn her her first clue marker, which is great. We definitely need more of those. So we're going to award her the clue marker, and that's going to end her turn. And her replacement clue card is going to be at the docks. All right. And now we'll move on to Isabella Von Took. She has 6 investigations. She's attempting to get to the icy waters. However, unfortunately, she was lost in the last turn in a maze of caves. That says that we have to lose our next movement, and she's going to have to linger there. So that card is resolved, and she's going to make a lingering roll. And here's her lingering roll. And of course, she rolled a 1. Oh. All right, we're going to have to make a roll on the Shadow Witch's minion chart, and Isabella is going to have to deal with whatever comes up. So here's the roll. She rolls a 2, and that's a ghost soldier. Minion, undead, ghost, and horde. 3 fight dice, 3 health. And we're going to gain a reward of 5 investigation for defeating it. Its special abilities are ethereal. Heroes must use their spirit instead of combat during the fight. And overrun. If the hero does no hits to the ghost soldiers during a fight round, roll a d6. On a roll of 1 or 2, the hero must immediately escape from the fight if possible, as they are driven off by the ghastly horde. All right. Well, Isabella has a spirit value of 3. So she'll be rolling a total of 3 dice for the test. And the ghost soldiers are going to be rolling 3 fight dice as well. So we've placed a ghost soldier's token at that location, and we're going to make the fight roll and see what happens. This is the first round. All right. Well, it looks like each side has done 2 wounds to the other. So we're going to mark 2 hits onto the ghost soldiers. They're going to need 1 more wound to be defeated. Now Isabella has her manipulation ability, and instead of taking those wounds, she's going to discard 2 investigation, and that will cancel out the 2 wounds that she should have taken. That's a very valuable special ability that she has. That moves her down to 4 investigation, but she has no wounds, so we're going to begin another fight round. And Isabella only needs 1 more wound on the ghost soldiers to defeat them. Here's the second round. And unfortunately, the ghost soldiers did a total of 3 hits to her. She did 1 though, so that is sufficient to defeat the ghost soldiers. That would be their 3rd wound. We'll remove them from the board, and that's going to award Isabella a total of 5 investigation points. She's going to use her manipulation ability, and she's going to pay 3 investigation to prevent those wounds that she would have taken. So that was a good turn for her. All right, and that's going to end her turn, and that will end the hero's investigation for this round, and we'll move on to the mystery phase. All right, our first step in the mystery phase is to move Solomon. We're going to draw a layer card and see where he's going to go. Now, incidentally, this blocked road token, that applies to both minions and to heroes. So if Solomon is commanded to move to a certain location, he might have to take a different route to get there. So we'll see what happens. The layer card of where Solomon is moving to is going to be the South Dock. All right, so Solomon is going to move through. He'd be blocked there. He'll move around to the South Dock. So there'll be no impact of Solomon on our characters. That's good. And incidentally, that blocked road token will be removed when the shadow track moves into its next stage. All right, Frederick Leone is our first player, and he's going to make the roll on the Cooperative Mystery Phase chart. Here is the roll. He rolls a 4, and that's lies and deceit. Roll a d6. Any town elder with honor equal to or less than the roll will gain 1 secret. If any town elder has 3 or more unrevealed secrets, immediately reveal them. All right, we'll make the roll. This could be dangerous for us. And the roll, of course, is a 6. What else would it be? So that means that every one of our elders is going to take another secret card, and we'll see how many of those elders will now have 3 secrets, and we'll have to reveal them. And following that Cooperative Mystery Phase chart roll, we find out now that multiple elders will have 3 or more secrets. They will include Lady Hanbrook, Magistrate Croft, Reverend Harding, Dr. Manning, and the Harbor Master. The other elders have 2 secrets in the case of Lord Hanbrook and Sophie the Midwife, and Mayor Carver has only 1 unrevealed secret. So we'll begin by revealing these secrets one at a time. And these are the secrets for Lady Hanbrook. First one, on the hunt. Reveal immediately. Place the marker for this town elder on the board in any name space of your choice. While in the same space with this town elder, a hero may add the elder's spirit, cunning, and or honor to his own for any card effect or test. Anytime the shadow track crosses into a new stage, move the elder to a new random location. All right. Well, that's the first one. Here's the second one. Servant to darkness. Secret evil. Working in the shadows, the town elder has been seduced by the dark promise of power and riches. They are now an evil shell of their former self, little more than a henchman of darkness. When revealed, the town elder flips to become the evil elder, joining the villain. If this elder was part of your hunting party, they immediately make a free 2 fight dice attack against you or against every hero present in the cooperative team play. Oh, well, Lady Hanbrook is going to turn into an evil elder, and she is going to become the Lady of Darkness. All right, she has 1 more secret to reveal, and we'll see what that is. And that's the Shadow's Puppet, Secret Evil. If revealed, the town elder immediately flips to become an evil elder and joins the villain. While the evil elder is alive, move the shadow track 1 step closer to darkness at the start of each showdown fight round. All right, so we will place Lady Hanbrook on the display for the Shadow Witch. She is the Lady of Darkness. Next up is Magistrate Croft, and we'll see what happens to him. Here's the first secret. It's a little secret. Guilty conscience. Consumed by a guilt-ridden state over prior petty indiscretions, the elder refuses to make eye contact with another soul for fear of being judged unworthy of his position. This is of no consequence to the investigation and no effect. Here's the second card. Secret Madness. Reveal immediately. Place the marker for this town elder on the board at a random location. At the start of each mystery phase, immediately move the elder to a new random location. If there is a hero there, draw a mystery card. If there is a minion there, the elder is killed. Otherwise, place 2 investigation on the space. If this secret is discarded or the town elder killed, remove their marker from the board. All right, that will take place unless this last secret is an evil secret. Here's the card, and that's a little secret full of lies. Without shame or remorse, this town elder spins tales of their exploits and sows seeds of deceit amongst their rivals. No deed is too small to steal credit for. No amount of praise is ever enough. This is of no consequence to the investigation and no effect. So, this Secret Madness card is going to kick in, and we're going to draw a random location and place Magistrate Croft there. He is going to appear in the fields. All right, so we will move him to the fields. Magistrate Croft moves to the fields, and we're going to place 2 investigation there. There is no minion or hero present, so we will do that. Now he's going to move as the shadow track moves into stages. He'll move just as Mayor Hanbrook does. Next up will be the secrets of Reverend Harding. Here's the first one. A little secret deserter. Once part of a ship's crew in the Continental Navy, the elder abandoned their post, slipping away in the night to escape their dreaded fate at sea on the eve of a fierce maritime skirmish. This is of no consequence to the investigation and no effect. Here's the second secret. And it's a darkest secret. The elder is either in direct control of the villain or is the villain. When revealed, the town elder flips to become an evil elder joining the villain. Do not discard this secret. The villain gains an extra +1 combat, and this evil elder may not be targeted in a fight. +1 to combat. So Reverend Harding becomes the Grand Inquisitor. Oh, we're really getting hit hard with this. And here's the final secret. And it's brilliant mind, unfortunately. The town elder is a genius, a brilliant scholar and a sharp wit, and a humble demeanor. They would make a cunning ally. During a showdown, the hero gains +1 combat and +2 cunning, as well as the town elder's special ability. Also, the hero may draw an event at the start of each showdown fight round. +1 combat and +2 cunning. Well, unfortunately, that card is discarded. All cards that are not evil will be discarded, and the Grand Inquisitor will take his place next to the Shadow Witch. Next up are the secrets of Dr. Manning. Here's the first one. Knows too much. Always one step ahead when it comes to solving mysteries or finding clues. The town elder lacks only common sense to stay out of trouble. Frankly, it's amazing they have lasted this long in life. When revealed, the town elder is immediately killed in a most horrible and gruesome way. This may not be prevented. The hero that revealed this secret gains D6 investigation and may draw 2 event cards. If revealed in the cooperative team play as a part of a hunting party, instead, each hero in the space gains D3 investigation and may draw 1 event card. Well, we're not in a hunting party situation yet, so unfortunately that is going to kill Dr. Manning. We'll finish resolving the other secrets. That was a little secret, Manic, and the last one was Hero of the People. All right, so Dr. Manning has been killed. That's going to move the shadow track 2 steps closer to darkness. Whenever an elder is killed, it costs us 2 points on the shadow track. That's going to move it from 14 down to 12, and the Shadow Witch is going to gain +2 wound token. And as well, we've moved into a new stage, and all of those characters that have movement are going to move to new locations. And in that case, it says the hero that revealed this secret gains D6 investigation and may draw 2 events. Well, that would be our first player because he's resolving the mystery cards. And that's going to be Frederick Leone. So we'll make a D6 roll for him and see how much he's going to gain in investigation. And he rolls a 3. So we'll give Frederick 3 investigation. That'll move him up to a total of 7 investigation points. And he's also going to draw 2 events. Here's the first one. Strength of Spirit, play immediately. Play this card on any hero, +1 spirit remains in play. Okay. Well, I think we'll play that card on Frederick himself. That will bump him up to a total of 3 spirit. And the next event, is Daybreak. Discard an event or mystery card that remains in play except during a fight round, or remove all transformation markers from a curse. All right, well, I think we are going to use that immediately. And that is that Veil of Darkness card that the villain has on their stand. That's a remains in play card. So we'll use that card to discard this Veil of Darkness card. While this card is in play, anytime a hero is KO'd, move the shadow track 2 steps closer to darkness. So we'll get rid of that. That's a good use of that card. And unfortunately, Dr. Manning is no more. I'll remove him from the game. I should correct that. Technically, Dr. Manning is not removed from the game. He's been killed, but there are cards that can sometimes bring an elder back into the game. So we'll tip his card and his model. And now we have one more elder to look at the secrets of, and that's the Harbor Master. And here's the secrets of the Harbor Master. First one is a little secret: witchcraft. In the dark of night, when the black candles burn, a hushed whisper chant is all that can be heard from this town elder's chamber door. This is of no consequence to the investigation and no effect. Here's the second one. Servant to darkness. Working in the shadows, the town elder has been seduced by the dark promise of power and riches. They are now an evil shell of their former self, little more than a henchman of darkness. When revealed, the town elder flips to become an evil elder, joining the villain. And that means that the Harbor Master is going to become the Master of Death. All right, he has one secret left to reveal, but he is certainly going to be a servant of darkness. This one is a little secret, a voyeur. All right, all those other cards will be discarded, and he is going to join the Shadow Witch. She currently has quite a few allies. Well, now with the Shadow Track moving into a new stage, Mayor Carver is going to move to a new location. We'll draw a layer card to find out where he's going. He's at the Old Woods. He's moving to the Manor. All right. So we'll move Mayor Carver to the Manor. And now Magistrate Croft at the Fields is going to move to a new location. And depending upon the location and what's there, we'll see what happens. He is going to move to the Stone Bridge. All right. Magistrate Croft moves to the Stone Bridge. There's no minions there and there's no heroes there. So we're going to place 2 investigation tokens on that space. And now we have the mystery card draw. That card is revealed to be Domination Mystery. The player who drew this card must immediately choose any ally in play, including unsold ally town items, to join the villain. This ally loses all game text and bonuses and is now treated as an evil elder, +1 combat and +1 wound. Oh my goodness, if this couldn't get any worse. Well, we're going to have to select an ally from the town items deck. There are no allies in play currently, so that will be the only option. And we're going to select the Malicious Soldier, and he has been corrupted by the Shadow Witch, and she's going to increase her army. And it is an army, once again. And that is the army of the Shadow Witch. She has the Malicious Soldier, the Master of Death, the Collector, Lady of Darkness, and the Grand Inquisitor. And unless we can somehow kill off some of these evil elders and minions that she has, we're going to be in for a very rough road for the showdown. And lastly, as that shadow track moved into a new stage, the roadblock is now removed, so we can get rid of that. And now all that's left is to move the first player marker. That's going to move from Frederick Leon to Heinrich Cartwright. And Heinrich Cartwright, he has 7 investigation, and he's trying to get to the abandoned keep for his next clue. We'll have him roll for movement. He's at the windmill. And he rolls a 6, so he's got 6 movement points. And we're going to move him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think to the doctor's office. and at least there he'll be able to utilize his resourceful ability when he draws an event card. So we'll have him draw 2 event cards with his resourceful ability, and he'll keep one of them. And the 2 events are Brilliant Deduction, Event Cunning. Give any hero or town elder +2 cunning for the rest of the turn, or showdown fight round, or peek at the secrets of one town elder without revealing them. The other is If I Could Just Reach. Take an item out of any discard pile. I think we'll keep that card. We'll keep that card, and then we'll add that to our list of event cards, and we'll discard the Brilliant Deduction. And that's going to bring Heinrich's turn to a close. We'll move on to Abigail Stern. She is at the North Dock. Now Abigail needs to try to get to the docks, and that's where her next clue can be found. So we'll have her make a movement roll from the North Dock. And she rolls a 3. And that's enough movement to cross Echo Lake and move into the South Dock area, but unfortunately Solomon is there, and that's going to affect her fight dice if any fights would occur. I think we'll take the risk. And she'll move across the lake to the South Dock. She'll be able to collect the investigation token. I apologize, that was out of camera. She's going to move across the lake to the South Dock, collecting the investigation token that is there. And then she's going to encounter the space. Now the fact that Solomon is there has no effect on her other than that extra fight dice modifier that she would have. But his effects only happen when he moves into the space. So we'll have her encounter the South Dock, and hopefully we can roll a 3 or higher. And she rolls a 2, and we're going to have to resolve another mystery card. This thing is turning south real quick. And the mystery card is revealed to be Something Wicked Mystery. This card plays on the villain. At the start of each mystery phase, including this one, put a marker on this card. When there are 3 markers here, immediately remove them and add +1 wound marker to the villain, and move the shadow track 2 steps closer to darkness remains in play. Oh, that is an absolutely terrible card. We have to come up with a way to discard that card. All right. And that's going to end Abigail's turn. We'll move on to Isabella, and she's currently at Smuggler's Cove. And Isabella's trying to get to the icy waters where she can get her first clue token. Here is her move roll. She rolls a 5. She's got 5 movement points, and that's enough to do it. She's going to take this water path, 2 movement points into the shipwreck, 2 more into the icy waters where she can collect 3 investigation, and that is great. All right, now she has to encounter the space, and that is a dangerous location. We'll see if we can roll a 3 or greater. Oh, and she rolls a 1. It's going to be another mystery card. Oh, and that mystery card is revealed to be It's Getting Closer. Mystery. All minions on the board move 2 spaces along the shortest path towards the hero that drew this card. If there are no minions on the board, roll once on the villain's minion chart and work out the results. Move the shadow track 1 step closer to darkness. All right, the shadow track is going to move from 12 down to 11, and now all the minions are going to move closer towards Isabella at the icy waters, and we'll make those moves off camera. We have a living tree that'll move from the old woods to the crossroads, and we'll have the living tree at the inn move on the road path south towards the bog. Those are the only minions that are on the board at this time. All right, Isabella is going to spend 1 investigation token, paying the cost of the card, and that's going to earn her her first clue token, which is great. We'll see where her next clue token is, and that's going to be at the town square, which is very close. The town square is in Tidewater. That's great. Well, we had some good news there at least. That's going to finish up Isabella's turn. We'll move on to Frederick Leone. He's on the road space just west of the lighthouse. Frederick is attempting to get to the beach, so we'll have him make a movement roll. If he can get a 2 or greater, we'll reach the location. And here's his roll. He rolls a 3. He's got 3 movement points. So he and his escort will move 2 movement points to the beach. And we're going to encounter the space. And once again, this is a part of the Tidewater Village. We have to draw a village encounter card. And Frederick has a great find, the Founder's Journal, Village Encounter, Item, Book, +1 to Honor, +1 to Spirit, +1 to Cunning. Discard to cancel and redraw any card just drawn. That is an outstanding card, and we'll give that to Frederick. And Frederick is now at the beach. He's going to use his clue card. He's going to spend 2 investigation. And that's going to earn him his first clue token, which is great. We're making some progress, but I have a feeling that this may be insurmountable with the army of darkness that the Shadow Witch has built, but we'll see what happens. And Frederick's next clue is going to be found in the fields, and that's on the Shadow Brick board. He has a long way to travel to get there. All right, that is going to complete the hero's turn. We'll move on to the mystery phase. And we'll begin the mystery phase by moving Solomon. We'll see where he's going. He's at the South Dock, and he's going to move to the Forgotten Island. Well, that's great. He's not going to bother anybody there. So we'll move him to the Forgotten Island. Heinrich Cartwright is our first player, and he'll be making the roll on the Advanced Cooperative Mystery Chart. Here is the roll. Roll is a 10, and that's Ambush in the Night. Every hero must roll a d6 and add their cunning. Whoever has the lowest result is immediately attacked by one of the villain's minions. Roll if tied. Roll once on the villain minion chart, re-rolling any event result or minion that has no fight dice, and place that minion in the hero's space. During the first round, the hero may not use any items, allies, or abilities, and the minion has double their normal fight dice. All right, I'll make those rolls off camera and I'll let you know the results. Well, the lowest result was Heinrich himself. He ended up getting a total of 5 cunning, and now he's going to have to fight a Shadow Witch minion. So it's going to be only on a result of 3 or 4. Those are the only minion results on the chart. 6 will have to re-roll. That would have been a Shadow Witch attack. 5 is the same. A 2 is a Wrath of the Shadow Witch event. A 1 is the same. A 5. A 4. Okay, that is going to be a Living Trees. We'll get a Living Trees token out there on the doctor's office. Now, the Living Trees normally has a fight dice of 3, but they're going to be rolling double that for this round, as it was an ambush. So they'll be rolling 6 dice. Heinrich Cartwright only has a combat value of 2. The only hope we have is that the Living Trees have a smash ability. They only hit on a 6, but if they do, every 6 will count as 2 hits. So we'll make the first round of combat roll. And here's the roll for the first round of combat. Oh, that's not good. Well, Heinrich did a total of 1 hit on the creature, but unfortunately, the Living Trees did 2 hits. That's a total of 4 wounds, which is going to be enough to KO Heinrich Cartwright. We'll see if there are any event cards we can play that will help us. And unfortunately, there are not. So Heinrich Cartwright is KO'd. He'll be taken by the villagers to the town hall. And now he has to roll a d6 to determine how much investigation, items, or allies will need to be removed as a part of him being KO'd. Here's the roll. He rolled a 4, so he'll have to lose 4 investigation. That will leave him with a total of 3 investigation remaining. And as this occurred during the mystery phase, he's going to be KO'd until the next mystery phase. And that Living Trees model will remain there, and the wound that he did inflict disappears. It doesn't stay with the creature. It kind of repairs itself in between turns. All right. And as Heinrich was the first player, we're going to have to move that first player marker out of turn to Abigail Stern, and she'll have to resolve the remainder of the mystery phase, and that means she's going to have to draw a mystery card. And she draws the card, It's Struck Again! Mystery Death. The villain attacks one of the town elders. Roll a d6. On a roll of 4+, the town elder with the lowest cunning is killed. Each hero gains 1 investigation. All right, we'll make a d6 roll, and we'll have to hope we roll less than a 4. And we didn't. So the town elder with the lowest cunning is killed. And unfortunately, that is going to be Sophie the midwife. So we keep her secrets cards hidden. Her token will be flipped to its side and card will be tilted. And she's technically dead for the moment. That's going to move the shadow track 2 steps closer to darkness. The shadow track is going to move from 11 down to 9. We're getting very close. And each investigator is going to gain an investigation token, so we'll do that now. Now, the only investigator that will not gain one is Heinrich Cartwright, and that's because he's KO'd. When you're KO'd, you have no interaction in the game. And the first player token will remain with Abigail Stern. That was temporarily moved to her because of the KOing of Heinrich Cartwright, so she'll retain possession of that for the coming turn. And I think I'm going to end the playthrough here. The heroes have been through the mill, as it were, and we've been really decimated. Our pool of elders has been terribly decimated. We've lost Sophie now. The only elders that are now available are Lord Hanbrook and Mayor Carver. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this 3rd episode of our playthrough against the Shadow Witch, and I have to say this is a very difficult playthrough. Well, I look forward to seeing you again on the channel, and I hope you tune in for our 4th installment, which looks like it might be the last one, the way things are going. And I hope you're enjoying this series. I'm trying to present this in the best way I can, and I'm trying to make it interesting. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope you all have a good day. Good night.